Hey everyone, Steve Burns here. It's time to get into texturing. But to learn texturing, I feel it's important to understand layer blend modes. In other words, understanding how and why they work. Let's make a brand new layer here right above my photograph. And I'm going to make a gradient of my 256 shades of gray. I'm going to hit the G key on my keyboard, making sure the foreground and background option is selected, which it is. Hold the shift key down. I'm going to constrain the proportion horizontally. So what we're getting is our absolute blacks until it becomes absolute white, or 256 possible shades of gray. Now, right over here in the top left-hand corner of your layers panel, it's by default going to be in normal. These are your blend modes. Currently, as I mentioned, it's in normal blend mode, but we can come down and we can grab other effects. Now, first, let me just turn this off temporarily. Let's go ahead and duplicate this background layer, and let's apply the layer blend modes to itself. So this layer image to itself. And if I come down here and go to color burn, go further down the list, let's see what it does. And if we go to the screen, color dodge, linear dodge, let's jump down to overlay, and you can see a variety of effects are happening. A lot of people don't really understand what's really going on here. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to take this back to normal. Let's turn on our gradient and target that gradient layer. Let's drop down our layer blend modes here. Remember, we're always working in 3 areas when it comes to our value system, our black and white system: shadows, midtones, and highlights. Your first set here, which is to darken, all of these have one thing in common, is that they maintain your darker values on this layer and make the medium gray and the highlights transparent. So if I target this here, you can see that the darker values are honored, the medium tones and the whites go transparent. Let's drop down to the next one, multiply. The same effects, maintain the darker values, medium gray and highlights go transparent. Let's drop down to color burn. You can see it's the same effect, but what's going on is the further down the list you go, the harsher it's applying it. Linear burn. Okay, and until we get to darker color. Still maintaining the darker values, medium grays and highlights go transparent. Now, if this is maintaining my darker values, what do you think this is going to maintain? It's going to be the opposite extreme. The lighter values. Maintains the brighter values, medium grays and the darks go transparent. And as I go down the list, it's applying it to a harsher degree, but nevertheless, they maintain the brighter values on that layer and applying these highlights to a stronger effect by brightening everything up with the image below it. Now to lighter color. Okay, so let's go down to the overlay. Now what the overlay is going to do, now as we just mentioned, these maintain your darker values at the top. The lighten area changes your, or maintains your brighter areas, makes everything transparent. So one honors the darkers, other one honors the light. This honors, they all have one thing in common, maintains your darker values as well as your lighter values and make your transparent areas the medium gray. So medium gray is going to go transparent. So if I target this, we can see this is a little darker here, a little brighter here, but the middle tones go completely transparent, seeing the image behind it. So if I just before and after, we can see the effect. So before and after again. Now let's go further down the list. Soft light. It's applying soft light similar to hard light, but to a lesser degree. So if I turn that off and on, you can still see the effect. Okay. Let's go down and target the hard light, and we can definitely see the effects of the darker and the brighter values still being maintained. Vivid light. As we go further down the list, it's applying it harsher. As we can see, We go to vivid light, but let's go beyond vivid light. Go to linear light here. Now you can see it, the same thing here. So they all have the same thing in common. All right, so this is going to be crucial in understanding how layer blend modes work when we apply them to textures. Because there's sometimes you're going to want to exclude some areas of your texture, but maintain others to get it to blend really well with your photographic image.